They say the lighthouse at Blackwater Point hasn't worked in nearly 50 years. The sea swallowed the last keeper, they claim. But that's not the whole story. It started with a letter, no name, no address, just a wax seal and an old, salty smell. Emily West, a marine journalist known for her skeptical approach to seafaring folklore, received it in the middle of a rainstorm. The letter read, "If you want the truth about Blackwater Point, come alone. Midnight, September 18th. Bring a flashlight. And whatever you do, don't answer the whispers." Emily should have thrown it away. She'd made a career out of debunking ghost tales, but something about the handwriting, jagged, like scratched into the page, felt real, urgent. So she went. Blackwater Point was darker than she remembered. No electricity, no cell signal. The lighthouse stood crooked on the cliff like it had grown from the rock itself. As Emily stepped through the broken gate, a sharp gust slammed the door behind her. The air was damp, thick, and silent, except for the faintest sound, like whispering, too soft to understand. Inside, the lighthouse was frozen in time. Rusted tools, a dusty oil lamp, and an old journal beneath the floorboards. Emily opened it. The first page read, November 12th, 1973. They told me it was just waves. But the waves don't knock. Each entry grew more disturbing. Scratches on the walls, shadows moving without light. And then, the final line. If someone finds this, don't let it out. Emily closed the journal. The wind outside had stopped. But the whispers, they were louder now. On the second floor, she found a locked metal door, newer than the rest of the building. She shouldn't have had the key, but she did. It was inside the envelope the letter came in. Why? She opened the door. Inside, a room perfectly preserved. A bunk. A mirror. A strange metal box with a switch and a red button. Above it, a sign. Emergency only, reset the loop. What loop? She pressed the button. The lighthouse groaned. The walls vibrated. And then, everything went black. She woke up at the bottom of the stairs. The door was gone. The journal was missing. And the clock, frozen at 12:06 a.m. She checked her watch. 12:06 a.m. Hadn't she arrived at midnight? Then the whispers returned, closer, and this time they said her name. Emily! Emily scrambled to her feet. Something about the lighthouse had changed. The walls were cleaner. The air smelled of kerosene and salt. She climbed back to the second floor, but the strange room with the switch was gone. In its place, a plain hallway. She caught sight of herself in an old mirror on the wall, but the reflection didn't match. Her face stared back at her, but blinked late, moved wrong, smiled. Not again, the reflection said. Emily jumped back. Her flashlight flickered. When she looked again, the mirror was cracked and empty. She turned to run, but the hallway now led somewhere else. She was sure that door hadn't been there before. It was open. Inside the room was a man, thin, weathered, dressed in an old lighthouse uniform. He stood with his back to her, writing in a journal identical to the one she'd found. "You're early this time," he said. Emily's voice trembled. "Who are you?" He turned around. Same face, same eyes. It was her, or someone who looked exactly like her. "I'm the one who stayed too long. You're the one who still has a chance. But not if you keep pressing that button." The whispers began to rise, louder, urgent. "What are they?" she asked. "Echoes," the doppelganger said, "of everyone who tried to escape." Emily backed away, heart racing. "I don't understand. How can I be you? How is any of this real?" The other her stepped forward but did not touch her. "Time doesn't move here. It folds. You're caught in it, like I was. Like they were." "They?" The doppelganger pointed to a hatch in the floor that hadn't been there before. A faint red glow pulsed beneath it. "Don't open it unless you're ready. Once you know the truth, you can't go back." Emily hesitated, but the whispers were almost screaming now. Her name, her fears, memories she hadn't thought of in years. She opened the hatch. A staircase spiraled downward. But it didn't lead into the rock. It led into something else. A space where gravity bent wrong. Walls pulsed like lungs. The air hummed with voices. She stepped inside, and the hatch slammed shut above her. The descent twisted her sense of time. Minutes felt like hours or seconds. At the bottom was a chamber, vast, circular, and humming with life. Faces lined the walls. Some moved, some watched. Each face was murmuring something, a confession, a secret, a scream. Then she saw it, her own face, staring back, trapped behind a sheet of warped glass. Its mouth moved, forming the same words over and over. You let it out. A tall figure emerged from the shadows. No face, just a presence, cold and furious. The lighthouse was a cage, it said, voice like crashing waves. Not for them, for it, and you broke the seal. Emily stumbled back. The button? Each reset phrased the boundary. Each loop opens the gate wider. You were warned. The walls began to crack. Whispers turned to screams. The vault shuddered. You must seal it again, the faceless figure said. Before the sea takes more, before it takes everything. Emily turned toward a second button glowing deep blue beneath her reflection's cell. Above it, carved into stone. Only the true self can close what was opened. Her reflection smiled. Which one of us is real, Emily? Emily stared at her reflection, now stepping forward from behind the glass as if it were water. Both versions of her were face to face, identical in every way, yet something beneath the surface felt reversed. I remember things you don't, the reflection said, because I'm the one who stayed behind last time. You just don't remember it yet. That's impossible, Emily whispered. No, the other Emily said. It's the loop. It rearranges memory. We trade places every time. That's the truth. The lighthouse needs a keeper. The blue button shimmered. The walls began to tremble. The faceless entity's voice roared above them both. Seal it now, or drown in time. Both Emilys rushed for the button, but only one reached it. Everything turned white. Emily blinked. She was on the rocky path outside the lighthouse. It was morning. Gulls cried overhead. The air smelled clean. She checked her watch. 6:42 a.m. The door to the lighthouse was locked. The gate rusted shut. In her pocket, a journal, its cover worn. Inside, only one line. You pressed the button. Which one? She turned to the sea, and in the reflection of the water, she saw herself, smiling, from the inside of the glass.